There's a lot shifting in AI in 2026 that's different from 2025. Here's part three of our series on what questions business leaders need to be asking that are different in 2026. This is about shifting from tools. We're focused on tools in 2025 still, asking questions like what tools do we use? How do we use these tools? Now we need to be shifting to how do we embed this in our infrastructure? How do we make this part of how we do business? It is not, it's not about breaking my microphone. It is about how we really embed this. Infrastructure is everywhere. Do you check to make sure that the water main is hooked up before turning on the water? Do you go out and look at the meter for electricity to see how much electricity you're using? Even the electric company doesn't do that anymore. Most of that is remotely checked. So it's automated, it's built in. So it's like, how do we make AI like that? How does it become part of how we operate, how we do business, so that it's part of our operating system as a business? So it's not just tools that you're implementing. So there's another shift in that. It's like last year with agentic processes, we were looking at human in the loop. It's doing a lot of that with our processes in my business. It's like where do we have reviews? How do we put human in the loop? Now that has shifted, and this is an example of going from tool to infrastructure that shifted to how do we do human on the loop, or in other words, how do we set it up so that our teams are supervising agents, agentic processes, not stopping the process for a human interruption, for a human intervention to say, well, let me check that, right? We have self checks in the process. We're also looking, so it's not just review and approve. Then I'm checking my notes here to make sure that I'm giving you everything that I got for you today. It's AI driven workflows. So they're increasingly autonomous. That's what we're moving to. That's the 2026 framework mindset in how do we create these processes so that we are having them run, so that we're freeing up how people are people to do what people are good at, so they can use their talents. For example, was a case study last year of a company that introduced agentic workflow into their customer service process. So they were able to have a customer service rep supervising agentic workflows that were handling incoming calls, triaging customer problems, creating tickets, doing what they can at the one-on-one level to help customers. Then most of the rest of the team was freed up to work on escalated tickets. Better service for the customers. The employees were happy because now they're working on interesting problems. They're applying their skills, not just doing routine work. It's removing some of that routine and unleashing the human talent. So it was a big win. They were able to handle more volume, and both employee engagement and customer satisfaction were increasing along the way. The thing is, big companies are moving slow in a lot of ways. They're not having great success in implementation. They're getting results, but in terms of really affecting top line and bottom line performance, only seeing, according to, I think one of the reports that came out, I believe it was McKinsey, was saying that only 6% of companies are increasing profits or their revenue by 5%, by greater than 5%. So it's 6 out of 100 are really getting that kind of results. Small business world, getting much more, add a zero to that, right? It's not 5%, it's 30%, maybe 50%, having an impact, being able to move faster with the tool implementation. So now you, as a business leader, as an owner of a small or mid-sized business, have an opportunity to move way faster in making it part of your operating system. A key question in that is, where does this fit in as part of our operating system? And how do we embed this? Where are the big opportunities? And a lot of that is in automating front-end processes. The early wins have been in sales, marketing, customer service, being able to increase productivity, be able to increase the conversion rates by being able to handle customer calls that wouldn't have been handled before. It's about making sure you're operationally ready for AI, which doesn't take tons and tons of work. That's not like a 5-month program to go, oh, well, let's review operations and see how we're doing. It is about making sure that you have the right infrastructure in place to be able to use the tools. For example, can your systems take data directly from AI? You put an agentic workflow in place. Where does that information go? Or does that have to stop, get a human intervention, and be be re-entered? Whatever might be the next step. It's looking at issues like that before beginning to implement, because then you can run fast. Doing that kind of review and assessment work, they're talking days, not weeks, months. So a couple days up front, yields moving way faster for the next 90 days and getting lots of results. So think infrastructure, not tools, being able to shift faster than your larger competitors and identify where you get the fastest payback when you're getting started. Then you can blaze your own trail and stay ahead of the competition. Now, if you want a downloadable assessment tool, we've got one available. Just drop a comment in the comment section, and I'll reach out to you on direct message. I'm Wolf. This is Adventure, sponsored by Adventure CEO Media. I look forward to hearing more about how you're implementing AI as an operating system within your company as part of your infrastructure. And I will see you on the trail.